Creating your Udemy videos. Now you are ready to create your Udemy videos. The most important thing to remember when you are recording your video is keep your students engaged. When you create an engaging video course, your students will really appreciate it and will recommend your course to the people that they know. You want students to view all parts of your course and participate in quizzes or whatever else you want them to do. Here are some general tips for great Udemy videos. Make short videos. We strongly recommend that you make each of your videos as short as possible. Less than 10 minutes is really good. Most students will not want to sit through 15 to 20-minute videos, so break your videos up if you have to. Lengthy videos are one of the main reasons that students drop out of Udemy courses and leave bad reviews. Keep it simple. Make your training as simple as possible. Stay focused on the topic at hand and don't go off on tangents. Get to the point as quickly as possible. Everybody will appreciate this approach. Obviously, if you need to explain something in detail, then you have to do that. Add an introduction and conclusion. We recommend that you add an introduction and conclusion to each of your videos. This will help your students to understand what is coming in the video and what they will have learned at the end. Add quizzes. With Udemy courses, you have the option to add quizzes in between videos, and we strongly recommend that you do that. When a student participates in a quiz, it is a great way to make an assessment of how well they are doing. We recommend that you create quizzes that have multiple choice questions, such as, what is a link from an external website referred to in SEO terms? A. Hyperlink. B. Reference link. C. Backlink. D. Rail link. Multiple choice questions are easier for the student. Make sure that you have answered all of the questions in the video so they can go back over it if they are not sure about something. Encourage debate. The idea of doing this is that students will think about the lesson they have just watched and then discuss it with their peers. This encourages interaction rather than just sitting and watching the videos. You can ask them to answer an open-ended question about the training, for example. Tips for creating great videos. These tips relate to the way that you act when you are recording the sections of you in front of the camera. The best way to approach this is to believe that you are a real presenter who does not have to rely on slides or other prompts. You need to practice this, as you will come across pretty boring if it is obvious that you are reading from something. You are the teacher here, and you want to provide the best impression possible. Be mindful of monotony with your videos. This is especially true if your videos are longer than 3 hours in total. Try to make your teaching style light and humorous, even if the subject doesn't lend itself to this. If you can use stories in your videos, then this is great. Everyone enjoys a story. Imagine that you are talking to a friend when you are recording. You want to be as relaxed and casual as possible. Your students will warm to this and are more likely to contact you and leave you a good review. Be careful with body language. You will probably just be doing headshots live on camera, but even with this, you need to pay attention to your body language. Don't touch your face when you are talking on camera. Wringing your hands is not a good idea either. Make a few practice recordings and see how you look. A lot of people repeat the same words all the time in their speech, and if you do this, then you need to avoid it. We're talking about the classic and like statements here. These words suggest that you are not confident. Don't speak too fast or too slow either. Maintain eye contact with the camera at all times. Your appearance and background. You want to record against a simple background so that your students are not distracted. Don't use backgrounds where there are fancy curtains, mirrors, or lights, or anything else that will be distracting. Think about what you are going to wear when you record your videos. If you are making a serious business video, then wear a business-style suit. For other videos, go for smart and casual. Don't wear really bright colors that will distract your students. Tell students they are progressing well. Keep your students motivated by telling them how much progress they are making. Congratulate them for reaching certain milestones and saying things like, "You have really learned a lot," or "You have really come a long way." Don't repeat yourself. Repetition is good for learning, but don't overdo it. Write a list of pointers or prompts to remind you what to say during your on-camera sessions. When you are telling stories, keep them brief. Avoid repeating yourself too much. Over-the-shoulder videos. This is the term used for demonstrating how to do something either by recording your computer screen or giving a live demonstration. With a live demonstration, practice it a few times first before you record it. When you are going to record your computer screen, we recommend that you have a number of tabs in your web browser already open and any software applications open as well. The last thing you want to record is something loading. This is boring for your students and for you too. With screen recording training, you have the option to narrate in real time or adding the audio later. Some people prefer to do it live while others like to record the audio afterwards. With a live recording, you are more prone to make mistakes, so bear this in mind. It can make your video seem a lot more natural though. Slide recordings. Sometimes you will need to use your slide presentation software to create slides for your videos. These are fine, but keep them to a minimum. Slide and talk videos can be very boring after a while. A slide at the end of each video to emphasize the main learning points is a good idea. You can also use one at the start to give an overview of what you will cover. Be sure to keep your text simple on your slides. Never write paragraphs. They should be one line to emphasize points. Introduce a single point at a time on your slide so that your students will listen to you and not be reading ahead. Use a simple layout for your slides and avoid distracting patterns. Choose a style that represents your brand and the subject you are teaching. Don't cram too many points into a single slide. This looks terrible and will distract your students. Feel free to use images to illustrate points in slides. Keep the images relevant to what you are discussing. Use your visuals to invoke emotion. Humorous images and images that create wonder are good. Use charts, graphs, and tables where this is appropriate. Go for one per page unless you are making a comparison. If you have the chance to include short video clips in your slides, then this is a good way to mix things up. PowerPoint and other slide presentation apps have many transition effects that you can use, but we strongly recommend that you don't use those. Nobody is going to be impressed by whoosh noises, fade-ins and fade-outs, bells ringing, or any of this kind of thing. You have now created your Udemy course, so it is time to create your high-converting landing page.